In this time of meditation, I invite you to relax, to focus on your breath. Simply observe your breath without trying to control it. Simply allow your body to breathe itself. Feel yourself relaxing from your head clear down to your toes. Allowing any stress or tension to simply drop to the floor. Leaving your body relaxed and refreshed. Bring your awareness to your heart. Feel it open. Feel it receptive. With an open heart, bring the images of all the people closest to you. Your friends, your family. Do not label or analyze or describe. Simply bring their presence into your heart. Recognize the love within each presence and surround them with love. And now, bring in the presence of your friends and colleagues. Again, do not label or analyze or judge. Simply bring their presence into your heart and recognize the good, the love within each presence. Bring into your heart the presence of all the people in your larger network. It might be the store clerk or the news reporter or the medical staff or the kid working at the drive-through window. Anyone that is in your larger network of people. Again, find and recognize the good, the love within each presence. Surround them with the unlimited love that you are. Now bring your awareness of the city into your heart. All of the people, the activity, the cars, the traffic, the shops, the joys, and the sorrows. Again, without judgment, without labeling. Simply recognize the love within each presence and envelop them with the unlimited love within you. This time, bring the awareness of the entire state. In fact, the whole continent into your heart. Recognize the love. Sense and know that the love within you radiates and expands and grows to include the entire planet as it spins around the sun. Keep expanding the love within your heart to include the solar system, the galaxy with 100 billion planets, and then expand to include the universe with its 100 billion galaxies. You might ask, who am I in the middle of all of this? There is a current of love that runs through the entire universe, and it is never broken. It is alive in the trees, the sea, the mountain, and in everything seen and unseen, including you. It is love, power, and intelligence that you can access. For you are the sum total of all of the relationships in the universe. Experience the joy, compassion, wonder, awe, insight, intuition, imagination, and more that exists within you as you are connected to all that exists. As you bring your heart awareness, this connection to all that exists, bring it to your whole body, into this room, into this space and time. You exist because the universe exists, and you are connected to all that is. The love, compassion that you feel for yourself, for others, is a blessing to the universe. Now I invite you to start moving around. Notice your breath again. You might want to move your arms and hands. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Namaste.
Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. before we begin this celebration service, let's all join in and sing our opening song together.
One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out, I'm so happy, I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out, I'm so happy, I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life, one life, one love, one life, one life, one love, one life, one life, one love, one life, one life. Break it down. Keep on shining from the inside out, I'm so happy, I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is.
What a glorious Sunday morning. I'm Judy Poteet, a licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. And it's my pleasure to be here with you as we experience this uplifting celebration service together. Throughout this service, if you feel a need for prayer, a prayer and a blessing for you, a family member, or a friend, then please go to our website and select our prayer request. Prayer and meditation are two very powerful spiritual traditions here in our community. Know that licensed spiritual practitioners are deeply committed to supporting you through prayer. We are here for you. Please feel free to call on us. As a matter of fact, even as I speak, 2 practitioners are providing spiritual support right now for you, for me, for our entire community. They're holding us in deep spiritual loving care from their homes by sitting in meditation during this service. We thank Bobby Williams and Sheila Callum for holding high watch for each one of us today. And now, let us take a moment to consider this week's affirmation. You may wish to jot it down or take a picture of it and keep it with you as your source of inspiration throughout the week. I'll read the affirmation and then we'll enter a time of contemplation together, after which I will give the invocation. I am a powerful catalyst of love within society. I am a powerful catalyst of love within society.
Feel me go be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light shines within me. I know God's light shines within me.
Yes, fill me, God. I am so grateful to know this truth, that I have this access to this love, this power, this intelligence that I call God. And I know that this same presence is within each and every individual, wherever they are, and that this is a sacred moment in time. I celebrate and know that this service is perfect, is exemplary, that there is a message for each and every individual, wherever they are, as they are viewing this time. I'm so grateful for my connection to all that is. I'm so grateful for the love that is present right here, right now. And I know that everything is smooth with ease and grace during our time together. And so it is.
Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light shines within me. I know God's light shines within me. I know God's light shines within me.
Lost and alone on some forgotten highway, traveled by many, remembered by few. Looking for something that I can believe in, looking for something that I'd like to do with my life. There's nothing behind me, nothing that ties me to something that might have been true yesterday. Tomorrow is open. Right now it seems that to be here's enough just to be here today. Well, I don't know what the future is holding in store. Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I've been. Tomorrow is open, light that shines on me. My life is worth the living, I don't need to see the end. Oh, sweet, sweet surrender. Why don't we live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. Oh, sweet, sweet surrender. Why don't we live without care, like a fish lost and alone on some forgotten highway, traveled by many, remembered by few, looking for something that I can believe in, looking for something that I'd like to do with my life. There's nothing behind me, nothing that binds me to something that might have been true yesterday. Tomorrow is open, right now it seems to be more than enough just to be here today. Well, I don't know what the future is holding in store, don't know where I'm going, not sure where I've been. There's a spirit that guides me, a light that shines on me. My life is worth the living, I don't need to see the end. Sweet, sweet surrender, why don't we live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. Oh, sweet, sweet surrender, why don't we live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. Come on. Now sweet, 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 sweet surrender, why don't we live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. Sweet, sweet surrender, live, oh, live without care. Why don't we live without care, like a bird in the air?
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas's Sunday morning celebration service. I'm Reverend Laura Hallett, and it is a joy to be back here with you again today. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who's here with us live this morning. Take a moment and check in. Write a little message in the chat. Let us know that you're here. We'd love to see your names as they pop up. And to every one of you who is watching our broadcast later on today or throughout the week, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel. While you're there, please take some time and explore what we have to offer. We broadcast our Sunday and Wednesday services on our YouTube channel, as well as having some wonderful spiritual moments for you to partake of throughout the week. We have some short meditations by our practitioners, and we have some beautiful spiritual soundscapes provided by our music ministry. These wonderful offerings, along with some other uplifting moments, are here to help you get through the week. Please take advantage of them. I'd like to start off each week with some gratitude. First off, to our media, music, and marketing team of Joe Blum, Justin Vogel, and Kelly Marshall. Thank you all for bringing your skills and your talents and providing us with these beautiful and professional quality services each week. And I'd like to thank our musical support. Mackenzie Amor is our artist of the day, and he, along with Melissa Allen and David Villela, provide us with some wonderful music throughout all of our services. And of course, I'd like to thank our practitioners for the day. We have Judy Petit, who brought us the beautiful meditation and invocation this morning. And sitting high watch for us are Bobby Williams and Sheila Callum. And of course, I want to thank all of the many volunteers who keep our center running, especially our leadership council and some of our key volunteer members who are always willing to help out, no matter what the need. Now, here for the month of July at Centers for Spiritual Living, we are talking about relationships. For the last couple of weeks, we've looked at the relationships we have with ourselves and with others. And while we seem to be independent beings, we are, in fact, interdependent with everything and everyone around us. I like to begin each of my talks by taking us back to our basic principles or our core concepts. And so for this month, we are working with one of our statements from our Declaration of Principles, written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. Our principle for the month is, we believe in the individualization of spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. So this week our focus is on the relationship we have with the society in which we live. There are many subtle nuances to this relationship, and to what this relationship means to each one of us, and for the world in which we live. They can vary greatly. And just like we individually are completely interdependent with everyone and everything around us, the particular society in which we live affects the larger global society. Here at Centers for Spiritual Living, we have a global vision of creating a world that works for everyone and all of creation. It's easy for us to look at creating a world that works for us individually, but it can be challenging to create a world that works for everyone and still have our own needs and desires met. Creating a world that works for everyone calls us to become more of a unified society, where the needs of the one do not outweigh the needs of the many, while still allowing each one of us, to become fully self-actualized individual within the entirety of this collective whole. Living, moving, and being the expression of a unified society calls us to a new paradigm. It calls us to create a more evolved way of being, where we practice our philosophy as a beloved society. We're invited to not only embody love, not solely on an individual manner, but rather in a collective manner. We're invited to look at and look for the ways we can engage in society to nurture and embolden a healthier, compassionate, equitable, and loving relationships for all people. This idea of creating a beloved community or beloved society is not a new idea. In the 50s and the 60s, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of creating a beloved society, and he devoted his work and his life to creating what he called the beloved community. By doing so, he showed us a path to a society that maximizes empathy, compassion, and love, and also leads to the health and well-being of everyone. In 1956, Dr. King spoke of the beloved community as the end goal of nonviolent protest. He said in a speech at the Victory Rally following the announcement of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to desegregate the seats on the Montgomery buses, "The end is reconciliation. The end is redemption. The end is the creation of the beloved community. It is this type of spirit and this type of love that can transform opponents into friends. It is this type of understanding, goodwill, that will transform the deep gloom of the old age into the exuberant gladness of the new age. It is the love which will bring about miracles in the hearts of men." So what stops us from realizing the beloved society, or, as Dr. King called it, the beloved community in our current world? As I said in our spiritual principle of the month, we are the individualization of spirit, and all of creation is the individualization of that one. In this, we have unity without uniformity. And in our individualized experiences, we have all been subjected to unique circumstances that have formed who we are. Many of these circumstances form the basis of our belief system. In addition to those beliefs that have been formed based on our experiences, We are also under the influence of a belief system that was in operation long before we came into existence, and belief systems that are part of the collective consciousness of the society in which we live. In our philosophy, we call this race consciousness. It blends our own thought patterns and shows up in our beliefs. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, describes it this way: the creative nature of our thought involves the sum total of the content of our mind. This means that our habitual thought patterns are being reflected in all of our images of thought. Also, the subconscious mind is a great creative reservoir. Then we are all immersed in and experiencing race consciousness, and it is operating through each one of us to a greater or lesser degree. This race consciousness and these belief systems which we have internalized lead us to having biases that we may or may not even be aware of. In a series of talks I was giving in 2019, I came across a research study that began at Harvard University in the late 1990s. Through the course of this research project, the scientists behind it created a series of tests that you could take to discover the implicit biases that were operating in your belief system. Those things that we don't even know are operating, yet are affecting so many of the decisions that we make and so many of the beliefs that we hold true on an unconscious basis because of the race consciousness that we are permeated in all the time. This work has been expanded upon by additional researchers from the University of Washington, the University of Virginia, and Yale University. It has now become a nonprofit organization that collects societal information about biases we hold and how they influence society in general. I found it quite fascinating to take these tests and to see the areas in which I had biases that I wasn't even aware of that were operating in my life. For instance, the first test that I took was based on skin tone biases, which determines the degree to which you make decisions based on the color of a person's skin. I was pleased to see that I had very little bias towards skin tone. I took the gender bias assessment and found that I slightly favored females, which seemed to be natural for me. So I repeated this with several of the tests and found that I had some slight biases here and there, depending on the topic. And then I took the test on the biases for weight. Now, I have been an overweight person almost my entire life, and I grew up in a family of mostly overweight people. So I have to tell you that it was quite shocking for me to see a strong bias against overweight people. I did not even know that was operating in my life. But it talks so much about the feelings that I've had about being an overweight person and my reactions to it and how I move through society. And as I said, for me, this was quite shocking to see this revelation. Race consciousness. We all have beliefs that have been passed down through the generations that we never even question the validity of. We have beliefs about other people, other religions, how certain people should act, about gender roles. We have ideas about age, and so many other biases that we are not even aware are operating in our lives on a daily basis. These ideas permeate every aspect of our existence. They determine how we think about others. They determine how we act towards others. They determine who we think deserves what in our world. And even when we think we are evolved and enlightened, these old beliefs are still operating in our existence. It would be one thing if these beliefs only affected us individually. Unfortunately, they affect many, many aspects of our society. They affect how our society operates. And more importantly, they affect the laws that we make as a society. Some laws we can easily identify as being for the protection of the society that made the laws. Some laws make total sense. Some laws are very logical and we wouldn't have it any other way. But some laws are made to protect a certain portion of the society while hurting and harming others. This happens because the society is not seeing them as being equal. They don't believe they have an equal part in the society. They don't believe that the people or the groups that they are forming the laws against have an equal right to even have the same protection as everyone else. Each country throughout the world has its own history of laws that have affected different portions of the population. We had slavery and Jim Crow here in the United States, apartheid in South Africa, and there was all of the anti-Semitism in Hitler's Germany. These are just a few examples. In creating a world that works for all, the role and the responsibility of being a spiritually mature society is certainly something worth discussing, as well as the role of spiritual laws in the creation of societal laws that demonstrate the wonder and the magnificence of God as it's moving in, through, and as all that is. When we can take our spiritual laws and apply them in a discerning way to our societal laws, I believe we are working more and more towards creating that world that works for everyone. For years, possibly since humans first developed communication, there have been many incidences of complaints and commentaries about what is wrong with the world. What's wrong with the government? What's wrong with churches, this country or that country, the weather, our jobs, our spouses, our children. There's a huge amount of energy that is going into making all of these complaints. And all of that energy has not made one thing better. It is only when dedicated people see a vision of change and work towards it that any effective or beneficial changes have ever occurred. If we are going to change society, then we must first begin to discuss and envision and work towards becoming the beloved society. We are invited to release our fixation with the problems of the world, the problems with the society in which we live, the problems with our families. This does not mean bypassing those conditions or experiences. They are very valid and very real to the people who are harmed by unjust laws. We cannot ignore them. Fortunately, our philosophy, the science of mind and spirit, gives us the same ability to see a condition and to transform, transmute, or transcend it in order to reveal the truth of it. Society is an agreement between people. And if we are manifesting a world that works for everyone, that means we must first manifest societies that work for all. And that means our relationships with each other and with those whom we may never ever meet who are affected by the laws and our policies. Systems that continue to oppress anyone must not be left unchecked. For example, in many places around the world, there are societal norms that continue to perpetuate hatred and violence against women, against minority groups, against members of the LGBT community, against anyone who seems to be different. Groups that have been traditionally oppressed are impacted even if they don't live in an oppressive culture. What happens to women in one part of the world affect women in every part of the world. What happens to certain minority groups in one section of our country is felt by people in the other sections of our country. The effects of oppression are far-reaching. And within the various societal groups, there are people who choose to do the work required to change the system, required to change the laws, to develop relationships so that everyone has equal rights, equal protection under the law, and the freedom to live, being who each one of us is as an individualized expression of spirit. So this week, as you interact with the world around you, periodically pause and look at the societal norms you and those around you have agreed to follow through that lens of a world that works for all. In other words, as I approach something and I see something that doesn't quite feel right, ask myself, is this working for everyone, or is it only working for a select few? And as you notice things in your surroundings that are not demonstrating this vision, ask yourself, what can I do to help create the beloved society in my community? And then once you have your answer, do it. It might be volunteering at a school, or helping out your neighbor with some yard work. It may be speaking out against an injustice. It may involve you sending some money to a special group. And of course, there is always, always the invitation to do our own spiritual work, to know what we know in truth, to do what we need to do to clear out our own hidden biases, to begin that work of reconciliation within ourselves and within the society in which we in is noble work. It's what we're called here to do. And it can be greatly supported by the spiritual practices that we have. So let's do that now. Let's take this into one of our spiritual practices, our affirmative prayer, where we actually begin to join in that collective consciousness and to know the truth. So please join me in prayer. And so right here and right now, I know that there is only one power, one presence, one divine creative source of all. That creative loving intelligence that has brought forth everything into existence, that is living through all of creation, that is showing up as it, manifesting itself perfectly in every case. And because I know there's only one, I know that I am one with it. I know that I am that individualization of spirit. And because I know this is true for me, I know that all of creation, everyone, is that individualization of spirit right here and right now, created perfectly and completely. Nothing missing, nothing lacking. And so knowing this truth, I speak my word. I know that right here and right now, each one of us has the opportunity to go within, to find those places where hidden beliefs are operating in our lives, to examine them, to explore them, to see the validity of them, and to do whatever work is necessary to heal and create that world that works for everyone in all creation. I know that each one of us has been brought to this moment to do this work right here and right now. I know that we are completely capable of it. We have been given all of the tools necessary for the evolution of our consciousness and the evolution of the society in which we live. Each one of us is a builder of this beloved society. Each one of us is a contributing member to the beloved community. And each one of us is a gift right here and right now. And I just give great thanks for this knowing. I'm so grateful to see it operating. I'm so grateful to feel it in my heart and to know it is the truth. And I release this word into the law, into that part of spirit that always says yes, that knows no lack or limitation, and is always moving in an ever-spiraling evolution of consciousness. I let it go and I let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Here at Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas, we are a mission and vision-driven community. We offer transformative educational opportunities, deep and meaningful moments of connection, uplifting Wednesday and Sunday services. We greatly appreciate your contributions that support the amazing work we're doing here in Southern Nevada. We have several easy ways you can contribute. We have text to give, Simply text the amount of your donation to our Text to Give number, and you'll be prompted to enter your information. There's a link to our online donation page posted below this video where you can contribute by debit or credit card. And of course, you're always welcome to send a check to our office if that works better for you. All of your contributions go to support the great work that we're doing here in Greater Las Vegas community.
There are times in my life when I am stronger than I've ever been. There are times in my life when I believe I can do no wrong. There are moments when yes, I can believe I am shining brighter. Sister, stand up, believe in all that you can be. Brother, remember who you are. Be strong, hold tight to that vision. You got to move on, to never take it away from you. Be strong, live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to your vision. There are mountains to climb, songs to be sung, tears to be cried. There are moments of loss, but moments of winning in a life full of love. If I just keep in mind, without any doubt, I am flying higher. Sister, stand up, be that all that you can be. Brother, remember who you are. Be strong, hold tight to your vision. Take it away from you. Be strong, live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to your vision. This is your moment to rise up. You know the sun's coming out. Yeah, your life's starting now. Can't keep you down, your spirits rising. Oh, be strong, hold on to that vision. For no one can ever take it away from you. Be strong, live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to surrender to the sun shining through your vision. Your vision. Oh.
Thank you, Mackenzie. You always inspire and uplift us with your talent. And thank you for your generous gift in support of our center. we remain committed to serving you. Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas continues to provide enriching services, transformative classes, and powerful opportunities for connection within our community. Be sure to watch the announcements at the end of today's service for what's coming up in the weeks ahead. Now, let's join together in a closing song before our benediction.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Oh, use me, oh God, I stand for you. So as we close this morning, I'd just like to remind you of a few special announcements. Our next in-person service is August 21st. It's a Sunday, a third Sunday of the month. We will be holding it at our new building. The address is 4080 East Russell Road here in Las Vegas. We encourage you to bring a chair with you. We have some chairs, but if you have a folding chair, lawn chair, beach chair, one of those things that it's easy for you to bring with you, please do so. We anticipate that it'll still be nice and cool at 9 o'clock in the morning, and so we're going to hold it then. And there was such a wonderful energy that we had when we did our new building blessing that we want to continue that and allow that energy to build into this new community we are building together. And so I invite you to come and join us on August 21st. This month we have a couple of fabulous workshops. We have one that is all about relationships. It is probably the best tool I've ever found for understanding relationships I have with other people and understanding how I relate and how I show up in those relationships. If you've not experienced the Enneagram, then I encourage you to come and join us online on July 30th with, it's a Saturday, with Dr. Melissa Felipe and Reverend Z.A. Gloff as they present their Enneagram experience. They have a unique twist for it. It's one I've never experienced before, but I think it's a fabulous way of getting a deep and clear understanding of the characteristics of who I am and the characteristics of the people that I'm in a relationship with. Because once we begin to understand that, then we begin to lessen some of our judgment around the experiences that we're having. And so it's a really, really great tool. And then we also have on July 17th, Kelly Marshall is presenting a new version of the Vision Board Workshop with some added twist to it. It's really going to be an exciting experience. That one's going to be held in person at the Enterprise Library on Las Vegas Boulevard. So check out our website, our e-blast, newsletters, and so forth for information. You can register online and join us for those experiences. It's going to be great. So we're looking at continuing to do in-person services, and we will keep you posted on the updates on that as we move on through into the fall. So I encourage you to all have a beautiful and blessed week. Remember that every person you meet is an opportunity for you to experience the divine in a deeper way. And so take advantage of it, folks. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
The monthly publication, Science of Mind magazine, is a treasure to be read and contemplated. Along with in-depth articles, there is a day-to-day spiritual support to be gleaned from its daily guides. Licensed practitioner Lynn Frankenberger hosts Adventures in Faith every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and you're invited to join in. This is a weekly group discussion that focuses on those daily guides and how to apply them. Check Facebook and our weekly newsletter for more details. CSL Greater Las Vegas brings you much of your favorite spiritual music every Friday at 7 p.m. with Spiritual Soundscapes. Enjoy performances from CSLGLV vocalists along with special guest singers. It's music for your soul. Subscribe to the CSLGLV YouTube channel to get a convenient link sent to you for each musical performance. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation.